making sense of the senseless and overthrowing governments that are reckless. May it make sense. Make it make sense.
Warning, warning, the world is on fire. Welcome to the Make It Make Sense podcast, where we make sense of the senseless, and my name is You Need a Bath.
What? I don't take baths. I'm a grown-ass man.
You are in need of a bath, and that is my name today.
I'm just kidding. I'm Travis Lee, and I take showers. It's fine. If I had a better bathtub, probably a more luxurious bathtub, I would definitely take baths.
You wouldn't fit in there.
My little ass bathtub in my apartment, though, I would feel really stupid in it.
Wait, it's not just us today, though, Travis.
No, we have a guest. Who's our guest?
We have a guest, and you might recognize her. It's Ava Germain. Welcome to the pod, boo. How you doing?
I'm so happy to be back.
Yay. So lots of things are on fire. We need something bigger than a dumpster fire. Okay, is there another thing bigger than a dumpster fire?
Well, yeah, a wildfire.
Oh, wait. No, that's not funny.
Well, it's not funny, but yes, we have a bigger fire than a dumpster fire. And I mean, a wildfire is a bigger fire than a dumpster fire.
That is true. So there are wildfires going on all over the country. So we slid in to you. It is Saturday, March 1st, maybe? I don't know. I've lost.
It's the first of the month.
Get up. Cash your checks and get on. Hey. Yes, it's the first of the month, and we decided to start the month off with a damage report for you because as good humans as we are, we will be continuing the Black is Black History Report, and we will be talking about Black women and all the contributions that they have given to the world, because we birthed all y'all.
But that's going to be a different show.
That's a different show.
That's not
Tonight, we're going to get going because, as usual, somebody in this room took forever.
What?
And now it's almost 9 o'clock. And 8 o'clock Ava time. And we were supposed to do this at 5. But we love y'all, and thank you. Wait, before we get started, we need to first say, what up, Russia? How you doing? Yes, we're still here.
We know they're listening.
We know you listening. Also, that random person from Ireland. We love you. I wish I knew who it was. Like, I feel bad because it's probably somebody that I know, and I wish they would just say, "Hey, Devette, it's me." And then also, I would love to tell my wifey, D. Lee, D. Thank you for the gift to the cause and helping us get our lovely business cards. When I see you, I'm gonna plant a big one on you. Okay, now. Yes, mwah, just a big one. Friend of the pod always, just like Russia. Russia, we love you. From Russia with
the
love.
Russian people, we love you.
Oh yeah, the Russian people, we are down for you. I can never come there, but thank you for I don't even know what to thank you for, because y'all got a rough time over there too, like we do. I'm so sorry.
We definitely don't love dictators though, and we might be in the same boat with you, so we stand with the Russian people, and we stand with
the Ukrainians. Ukrainians people. I am so sorry, and we will be talking about y'all towards the end of this little ditty. But first off, all right, we're gonna talk about the Tate brothers. Some of you might not know who those guys are, but they built a brand on cigar smoke, Bugattis, and telling young men how to treat women like property. Yeah.
As they're supposed to be treated.
As they're supposed to be treated, as they would say. And up until the other day, they were...
What were they originally, though? So Andrew Tate was originally a kickboxer, correct?
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing.
Yes, yeah. Right, he was a kickboxer. And some someone made the epic mistake of allowing them to have microphones.
Oh, okay. So, until the other day, they were on house arrest in Romania.
For like the last 2 years, right?
Yes. And guess what they were on house arrest for? Anybody want to raise their hand in the class? Anybody? Do they know what?
Ava?
What were they on house arrest for, Ava?
They do think a certain member of the population should be property. So it couldn't have been for trading that property, could it?
Oh, ding, 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 human trafficking.
Yeah.
Are y'all shocked?
No, sex trafficking specific. Yeah,
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
Specifically sex trafficking, yes.
It's specifically sex trafficking. And it sounds about right, about white, about, wait, no. And they have the nerve to be biracial. They're not just all white. They're black and white. And their dad is a whole ass black man. That is a fantastic chess player, from what I understand.
Here we go.
And so
again
is
with
one of
these,
them is a fantastic chess player too. So, and then guess where they are? They just wasp-backed up into the U.S. like it was spring break in Miami. Welcome to Miami.
So, Ava, do you know why exactly they were allowed to come back to the U.S.? Because they were on house arrest for the last some years around there. Do you know why exactly they were allowed to just fly back to the U.S. all of a sudden?
I do.
There has been some phone calls being made. So phone calls going on between a far-right potential presidential candidate in Romania by the name of Carlin Georgescu.
No, yeah, his something, Kaylin Georgescu.
Kaylin Georgescu happens to be friendly with a certain cyber truck social media platform owner who brings their children to the White House to pick their nose.
And write it on
that person has the ear of a 70-something-year-old toddler in the Oval Office.
Oh, okay. So that seems about
that seems convenient.
That seems real convenient. Travis, do you have a president in your back pocket?
Do I have a president in my back pocket?
Yeah.
No, I've never had a president in my back pocket.
Oh, okay. So
no, because I have no money, so I can't buy a president.
Yeah.
And I have no influence, specifically more influence, which I think is more important to their movement and why you would let them people in, because they have a very the Venn diagram of chauvinistic problem males and Trump supporters.
You guys can't see it, but me and Ava are drawing Venn diagrams in the air of all the overcrossing. So you want to know something that's funny?
Yeah.
So you know our buddy Ron DeSantis?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was very shocked and confused as to why they were there. And this is the man who practically built a state for these type of people. I mean, Trump lives there. Yes. Jeffrey Epstein lived there, and he had a little island off the coast of Florida for all of these people. And he's like, nah, I'm good. Like, y'all.
It makes me wonder if good old Ronnie didn't get a phone call.
He did. Well, he said he didn't.
Like, maybe he was not in the loop.
He was not in the loop because he's like, we need to get back to you, and they're not welcome.
I mean, but he let it happen though, and I mean, it is your state. Like, you are the governor of the state. If you want to stop it, you can stop it, can't you?
Well, I mean, he said he launched an investigation into the activities. And he's like, well, it is, it's Florida, and we're going to pretend.
Launched an activity means he contacted the White House and said, what am I allowed to do about this? And they said, fucking nothing.
And he's like, we're going to pretend to do something, but don't hold your breath. And, this is just what they do, right? So when Ava and I were, talking about all of this earlier, we wanted to look maybe, is this, happening again? Is this deja vu? And so we wanted to,
It seems familiar. And it seems very familiar.
It seems so familiar. And, you know, we don't want to talk ill of the dead, but he's a sex trafficker, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein just for 1 second because this is definitely related. So he ran a sex trafficking ring for the rich. Like, he wasn't convicted, I know, but we know for a fact.
Yes.
Because his little side woman girlfriendy thing told us that there was a sex trafficking ring for the rich. There was an island, a private jet, a black book, and full of famous friends. And we were supposed to get that black book, but some influencers walked out with empty binders the other day. So who knows? And guess who used to party
Making a
with
joke
him?
of this. Making a fucking joke
It was
of
a
this.
freaking joke. And guess who used to be one of his friends?
Oh, that you can see tons of photographic evidence of them
Just partying
Not
it
just
up.
once. Not just once.
For years. It's the president of the United States. I'm gonna digress. I'm gonna keep going.
Curiouser.
Right. Russia, did you know this? Did you know that he was partying with the sex trafficker? I bet you did.
Like they have a lot because Jeffrey Epstein showed up at a lot of things.
He was everywhere.
He weaseled his way into things. So there's a lot of one-shot photos with him with a lot of people that really didn't have shit to do with him. You know, like could have, but I mean,
a terrific guy.
There are a lot.
Ava,
of photos.
A
so many.
terrific.
Together.
Go on the AP and type in Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and there you go. So you know Epstein got arrested, but then he died in prison.
Died.
Yeah, he died in prison.
I mean,
died in quotation marks.
Yeah, you said it like it was natural causes.
Something happened, and his heart is not
the same way Sandra Bland died in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Meh. So let's circle back around to these Tate brothers, because here's the thing. If you don't know, there are two systems of justice in this country.
In the world.
In the world, too.
Yes, there is.
One for the elite and one for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think white people, MAGA, whoever, if you are not in that upper 1%, if you are not sitting in that row behind that man, you are with the everybody else, and start acting like them and see what's going to happen to you. And that's a warning from me, Devette B. Okay, so then let's enter the Cybertruck man. He is the one that has the relationship with the man whose name that we keep mispronouncing because we don't speak Sheshku. Sheshku. That
good old Kaylin.
Kaylin, because he is under investigation for all sorts of things. Campaign finance fraud. Let's see what else. Connections to extremist groups. Now, does that sound familiar? Why is this all...
It's more serious.
Ava, why does this all sound eerily familiar? Like it's just happening all over the world. Been around the world and I can't find that Nazi.
Kaylin, who is very happy to take Elon's support in his questioning of Romanians' elections, is also a very vocal friend of a certain individual who likes to ride bare-chested on horses. So,
would that be...
Kaylin happens to be a very vocal supporter of our president's good friend, Vladimir Putin.
Oh, I would just like to say that Elon likes to go from flittering from country to country and helping not the nicest people argue about elections.
Is he like the anti-Che Guevara? Elon Musk? Is he like...
Anti-Che
he like goes around to other countries and makes people want to start revolutions.
I don't, but they're not correct. Like, they're not helping anyone be free. Like, they're helping him enslave people. Like, this is literally
his weird fingers in a lot of election pies.
like too many pies. Someone should make him a shit pie. I digress. I'm sorry.
I think Viola Davis did offer to do that.
I mean,
A
it
couple weeks
doesn't have
ago.
to even be a lot of shit.
Stop it!
I'm sorry.
we're not gonna
Travis
talk about-
doesn't like
no,
it
no,
when
no,
we
no.
talk about
No
excrement.
dookie talk. No.
Okay, so, and then we're on to Mr. Putin. Sir, okay, look, I'm not coming for you in this. I'm not ever coming for you. I'm not. So
I might
please,
hear this stuff.
please stop. Okay, please.
Don't involve me in this shit.
Right, like, but we have to talk about your role in all of this, just because it's relevant.
But
to
me
the
and
story.
Ava ain't got shit to do with this.
Right,
so.
me and Ava and we ain't got nothing to do. Right, we ain't in it. We're just reporting. We're just reporting the news, sir. Okay, so here's the thing. So Russia has had in the past, I don't know currently, just in the past, problems with sex trafficking, and
No.
yeah, I mean, I've seen 9,000 movies about it, so I don't know. I don't think the movies are lying. And then a long history with human rights violations. I've seen movies. I'm just saying, there's movies. Okay. And so we got Musk defending Romanian politicians who are cozy with said chest-bearing horse rider. And then this guy lets the Tates free. Sounds like some weird international like boys club, like, and I mean that, birds of a feather.
Would you call that an Illuminati situation?
Okay, you.
Of
Of course it is. Oh, no, maybe they just like to hang out and drink tea and eat crumpets.
Or sacrifice virgins to the devil?
That too.
Travis,
Drinking their.
Travis, we all know that the Illuminati only cares about who wins Album of the Year.
Yes, they only care about that. That's it. They only care about who wins Album of the Year.
You're right.
So don't worry, they're not talking about
They don't
Big
care
Bang P.
that
They're not talking about Big Bang P, and they're not.
they don't care that Russia is not happy with Romania for a variety of issues.
Right. Nope. So
they don't care.
they don't care that Romania is a member of that Romania is a member of NATO, and then there's U.S. military bases there. So Putin doesn't like that.
And that Putin doesn't like that.
Putin's
The Illuminati doesn't care that Romania supports Ukraine.
No, which is a big no for Big Bang P. Okay. And then Romania wants Moldova, which I did not know in the 90s was just full of war.
Moldova?
Yes.
It's in the Balkans.
I know. Like, they just bing.
Isn't it in the Balkan situation?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. And
In
so.
that area.
Yeah, it's over there. There's, that crazy show, 90 Day Fiancé. There's a guy on there who married this girl from the United States, and they went over there to have a wedding for his family, and it's just like blown to bits. Yes. And he's like, yeah, sometimes we would go walking to school and bombs would go off, and I'm like, that is horrible. Ugh. So yeah,
perfect setting for a wedding. Perfect setting.
Well, I mean, there weren't bombs going off then, but like, just like driving, like there's parts of the city that you can't even drive through still.
What is worse? A worse place to have a wedding, a war-torn, bombed out area of your country, or a plantation in southern United States. What's more picturesque?
I would think, like, I don't know. I don't want to have it either. They luckily had their wedding inside a very nice venue, but yeah.
Which one is going to be on the cover of The Knot this year? Oh my God.
That's a whole other discussion. Oh my God, we're having too much fun tonight. Okay, so Romania also wants Moldova to join the EU, and Russia wants Moldova to stay in its control. So it's like, here's the thing, y'all.
They're an independent country, right?
Moldova?
Now, because they used to be a Soviet republic, right?
So they're an independent country, but Russia's still like...
Yeah, they have their fingers.
They have their fingers.
Control it.
They stuck their fingers in the shit pie. Yeah. Okay.
So this next Hollywood blockbuster apparently has everything, right? Sex trafficking. Billionaires.
Just meddling.
Meddling into politics.
Just...
International extradition requests coming from the UK and Romania and house arrest.
Travis, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Tom Cruise is going to come and save us all. That's what's going to happen.
Dun, 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 dun.
And men with podcasts.
Yes, remember? So, okay, so why does this keep happening? Any ideas, anybody?
No one's challenging them?
Well, yeah. So at the end of the day, whether it's the Tates, the Epsteins, the Trumpsters, the Muskses, and the Big Bang Ps, the Muskes and the Big Bang P, there is a pattern.
Sure is.
It keeps repeating.
It does.
Rich man getting away with everything, victims left with nothing. And so, what do we do about it? I don't know, because I don't know. I really don't. I have no action items for you on this, because this is above my pay grade, your pay grade, and Ava's pay grade.
Well, Ava, do you have any thoughts?
Right. We couldn't come up with anything.
Maybe if we tell them that the sex trafficking is happening in a pizza shop and involves Hillary Clinton.
Ooh.
Her emails.
Hunter Biden's laptop is sex trafficking in a pizza shop with Hillary Clinton's emails? Holy fuck!
I can't breathe.
Holy shit! We need to stop that.
I
How do we stop that, Tibet?
I don't know. I have a headache. Because okay. So first off, please just be mindful and don't go anywhere by yourself. Don't leave your drink. We did talk about last week. Our poor friend Travis got roofied while he was out. We'll talk about it later, Ava. Because Ava's,
oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes.
What?
Yes. And I mean, he's a, you know, we're not young, but we know to look for it, and it happened, and it can happen to anybody. So just don't, and also don't hang out with Nazis. Like, I'm just saying it. Don't hang out with Nazis. I mean, they can be anywhere, but if you like a certain type of music.
Nazis are everywhere.
Yeah, but if you like a certain type of music, you can get caught up with a Nazi. And I'm sorry. Also, there are codes for in clubs and certain situations that if you use the code, the bartenders will help you, the waitresses will help you. When you're at actions, again, don't go to them by yourself. Now, if you're going and you're going to meet a group of people, find a spot outside of the action to meet and then go together. Okay? Like, stay with your group.
They taught us this in kindergarten.
I feel like some of y'all didn't go to kindergarten and pay attention.
Find your buddy. Stay with your buddy.
Travis doesn't know this yet, but I really want to go to Madison on Monday, because there's a women's march rally on Monday.
Oh, when's Bernie coming?
I don't know yet.
Bernie's coming.
But tit for tat, quid pro quo.
Oh, I don't want to go to Madison on Monday.
Why?
Because I gotta work and stuff.
I know we have to record, but I might sneak up there. It's early in the morning. It's like at 11.
But Bernie, though.
Bernie's not on Monday.
I know.
So, anywho, the Tates, we're going to keep paying attention because we know y'all are not. But I bet that Romania's not going to ask for them back. They're not. Because Romania doesn't, just like here, we don't give a shit about sex
They
trafficking.
didn't put up a big fight.
No,
to
they
keep them.
didn't. Because, like, that dude ain't even the president, right? Is he the president? And, like, no.
He's not
So
currently the president.
and then where are the prosecutors? So we're just going to pay attention. DeSantis does not want them there. So, I mean, where else
There is an extradition request from the UK.
Okay, so
But
well, let's see.
Just like a request. But they are not currently in U.S. custody.
No.
They're free.
They're at Mar-a-Lago. I mean,
do you know
they might. I don't know that for sure. I'm sorry. It's a speculation. I mean, where else would they be? Do they have property in Florida?
Very long list of local groups requesting that they speak. They're being invited to many, many places in Florida right now.
If y'all could see me, my eyes crossed. Okay, we're done talking about these assholes. I fucking hate them. Because this one isn't great either. Nazi salutes at Disney.
Who's doing Nazi salutes at yes, I saw
Nazi.
Please tell me it wasn't Goofy. Please tell me it's not Goofy. Because, listen, Goofy, Max, all of the Goof troop are black. That's canon.
Yes, they are black.
We will accept no questions.
They're black. They better not be doing no goddamn Nancy.
I don't know who's doing the salute, but I know it's not my boy Goofy.
Okay, so.
Gorsh, Hitler?
Okay. So this should not be a headline, I feel like, in like the year of our Lord 2025. Like Jesus is like somewhere like this, like holding his head. So there's a group of people doing Nazi salutes at Disneyland. Because yes, apparently in 2025 we're still dealing with this nonsense. So in January, a guest at Disneyland's California Adventure thought it would be a great idea to do a Nazi salute during the Guardian of the Galaxy's mission breakout ride.
Because, that's the place.
Disneyland.
For that particular salute.
At the Gardens of the Galaxy, nonetheless. Like the most like inclusive movie or franchise,
I mean
comic book, Marvel. Let's just Marvel.
Short of the X-Men, like the Guardians of the Galaxy is a symbol for togetherness and acceptance and
I'm a love on
redemption,
that
redemption and
take care of everyone, and we help everyone out no matter what, no matter how many times they've been an asshole.
Even if we've been an asshole, we can redeem ourselves and be better people, right?
Right. So, just imagine being just a normal person.
Right.
In the park, sitting next, just do. And then you're like.
Now, Ava, I want to ask you this question. Do you think this has more to do with Elon Musk and the acceptance or, I don't know, almost mocking nature of what he did? And we've seen like Steve Bannon and stuff do it now, and people at CPAC last week. Or more with Kanye and his antics that have been going on lately.
You know what? I actually think it is more to do with social media.
Yeah.
And the way we are unable to call a thing a thing. So we can't deal with how bad it is. Right. So you on all the apps, if you say the word Nazi, you will get blocked. You will get a violation. You will have your page taken down. And so when people talk about these things, they have to use all these cute little terms. The schmazzies, the this, that, and the next thing. Right. And each generation, they come along. New kids, they do not get their news from the news. They find out about current events through their apps, through their YouTubes, through their TikToks, because the reporters aren't reporting. Mm-hmm. And since everyone is hamstringed by having to use these cute little terms, then everything becomes a joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? You will get a violation. If I see a Nazi, I should be able to say that is a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll
oh my
stop
God.
playing with what these symbols mean.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fly in Germany.
Nope.
You
You
can
can
do
get
things like
fined.
this in Germany.
You'll get a fine. Like, you legit get fined. And there's tickets. And you can go to jail. You cannot fuck around about things from the Third Reich. You can't do it. You can't make fun.
And the education of what these symbols mean is required there.
Yeah, here we got
You
that.
have to understand what happened and what it meant.
What's the
and
name
the
of
impact it had on
this?
people.
Is it CPAC? Is it who's the Jewish people here that control all the words in the textbooks?
What now?
Okay, there's it's the I can't think of the name of it right now because my brain is frying.
Okay.
But it's like the people who determine what is anti-Semitic.
The Jewish Defense League?
No, not
That might be wrong.
Not them. They were the one.
The Anti-Defamation League.
No.
Oh, what do you? Okay.
Is it the AL anti? No. APEC. What does APEC stand for?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
I think it. Well, no, because where was Steve Bannon?
Oh, is that what you're saying? The AIPAC?
Yeah.
The AIP?
Yeah.
Yeah, the APAC.
But that's not where he
But
was.
where Steve Bannon was,
Yeah.
that was CPAC.
Yeah, so the APEC.
Yeah.
They are the people who who read every textbook to make sure that the Jewish people are talked about in a certain way, and they over time, like, that's why I'm like, what is the actual number? And we're not finna go into that because and then what does it say here? And then what did the book say in Germany? Like, what, you know what I mean? Because those people are Israeli people who are you know what I mean? But
it's also directly more their history. So you got to figure that the focus is going to be. I mean, it's German national history. They're going to teach about it more than we are because we've got to learn American history. But it is part of our history.
But the stuff that we know of that time is not right.
Is it too far from the Holocaust? Are kids not as... It's not a present danger in their lives or a present... when we were growing up and learning about it, we could get speakers to come in to our schools. And I know that we had this in elementary school, middle school, and high school, where we had Holocaust survivors that could come in and speak to us and really tell us about what it was really like.
Yeah, but we have their descendants.
Right, but I mean, we're losing that whole generation, and I wonder if it's as real for...
I don't think it
they
has
were
to
too
be...
far away from...
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is
right.
the APEC is not who should be making sure the textbooks read well. It should be historians. It should be people who it should be people who who can write in a historical context. It should
independently.
Yes.
We don't have.
But they do for other stuff.
Right.
Like the history book, they literally just go through the history book for that part.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. I'm not a fan of the APEC.
Well,
I'm not a fan.
The problem that we also have here is who is writing the textbooks here
Texas.
In America?
Texas.
Who's controlling the curriculum here in America?
Texas Instruments.
And how these things are,
Texas Instruments writes most of the textbooks for American
Still
schools.
to this day?
Still to this day. And Macmillan.
And we need to look into the fact that they are heavily influenced and controlled by the
APEC.
New iteration of the Daughters of the Confederacy.
Yep, and the APEC.
The Daughters of the Confederacy write a lot of the textbooks
right.
that we have.
Yeah, and I think one of the thing is that the APEC is on them because I bet you if there wouldn't even be anything about the Holocaust in there. They want to take slavery out the damn textbooks because they were learning a trade. So, anywho, so these idiots at the Disney World, so I would lose my mind if I was at Disney World and anything of any sort of fascism or Nazi salutes or anything was happening. I don't even want to hear kids using the N-word at anywhere out in public like that. That especially if you don't look like me. So no.
The incident that you talked about that happened on the ride happened in January.
No,
but it happened again in February.
No, so the picture, the video that we saw, that was from February. I don't have a picture of of what happened the first time because that was just one person. So it was a group of people.
Oh, so this time was a group.
Yeah, in February it was a group of people that made the same gesture. So now we're not talking about an isolated on the same ride. So now it's getting to be intentional. So let's talk about Disney's response because I don't want to talk about this anymore because this is like I'm literally over this stuff. Like I'm over grown ass men doing it at conferences, grown ass men doing it at speaking engagements, at rallies after they're like I can't. And so Disney has not banned the people who are involved. There's been no public statement. There's been nothing. And people feel like they're kind of honestly ignoring it. So the public wants a lifetime ban. Because they ban people for sneaking alcohol in. Right? You can't even take water in unless you have a note.
You can get banned from Disney if you're dressed as a character.
Yep.
And don't work for the park.
Yep. You can't
if you show up in a Belle costume and it's not like you went and got the princess dress at the Disney park and you're not Belle, you will get banned from the park.
Yep. They don't even let the adults do the princess lunch anymore.
No.
And you used to be able to as an adult. Like, you can't do it anymore. Unless you have a kid. Like, I'm going to have to kidnap somebody's kid to be able to go to not kidnap. I got friends that got kids that will loan it to me. Excuse me, I'm not kidnapping any kids. So we just, here's the thing. We talk about white supremacy and, it can happen anywhere. Just because California is more progressive doesn't mean that they don't have white supremacy problems, because white supremacy is a systemic thing and it can happen anywhere, no matter who you are. You think you're not either benefiting from it or it's affecting you. I'm here to tell you, you might want to think that, rethink that. So here's the thing. The problem is that, is this illegal?
Nope.
The First Amendment, says that you can do this. Now, there could be consequences, that you don't know about, but, it's gross, right? And,
there's allowed to be consequences in the private sector.
Right.
But is it outright illegal? Are you able to do it? Sure, you're able to do it, but also your boss can fire you for doing it.
Right. So, whoever these kids are, maybe somebody needs to start going through the photos and then putting it through in the Google. This is just a suggestion. Put it in the Google Photos and see if their Facebook pages pop up. Maybe see where they go to school.
People should be held accountable.
So, that's ways to hold folks accountable. I have a friend, her whole mission in life is to get racists fired from their jobs.
I don't ever want to infringe on somebody's free speech. But if it's hateful in any way, and if there's any question of it, there should be consequences. That doesn't mean we need to lock you up forever.
Right.
But there need to be consequences, you can be redeemed maybe at one point in your life.
There are lots
we're not
of
going to throw you
that
away
aren't
forever.
Nazis anymore. There are lots of people who
are doing good works.
Right. There's a whole movie about it that A24 did that I can't think of the name of, but when I do, we will post it. Then that guy got all of his tattoos removed. It took him years to get them removed. And he wanted to suffer that pain. Right? And there's a documentary about that that he did. And then the movie is wonderful. I watched it in the hospital once. It was just mind-blowing to me. I was like, what? He did what? So why do we think this keeps happening, Travis?
Because we don't do anything to fix it.
Yeah. And
it just gets farther and farther, like we said, from the inciting incident, where it's just not real to them anymore. So, and then I think having people like Kanye that make a joke of it, and act like he's making a statement. It's not a statement, man. And we saw you've seen countercultures do this in history too. You've seen punk and heavy metal fans and bands use the swastika and the Confederate flag in the past, not necessarily because they even believed in those ideals, although some did very well. Yeah. You know, there's plenty of skinhead punk bands and Nazi heavy metal bands and stuff like that. But some fans just did it to be as outrageous as possible and to really tick people's buttons, even if they didn't believe in that.
I can remember as being a teenager, right? And side-eyeing some people because I'm like, are you a Nazi?
Like punks and stuff.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I didn't know.
We have to make these people uncomfortable. Right? They're very comfortable throwing up a Nazi salute at Disneyland. That is a choice to make the people around you uncomfortable, unhappy, and in a lot of cases, fearful. Nazis do it, the KKK do it, skinheads do it. It's to make the other feel uncomfortable, feel fear. And why are they the ones? If we want to believe that there's really more of us than there are of them, then why aren't we making them very uncomfortable?
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. I was just thinking, in the whole why does this keep happening thing. So Disney, since his granddaughter has taken over, and his granddaughter has a very multicultural family, right? And her daughter is daughter is trans. Her son is trans.
Who is?
Disney's
current CEO.
The current CEO has a trans child. I'll say that. A trans child. And they have really embraced diversity at Disney now, right? I think ABC helped them, owning ABC helped them do that. Marvel helped them do that. The live action princess movies has helped them do that. And we know that the supremacists were mad about the mermaid.
Everything.
Mad about Captain America. Mad about Captain America, even though the comics That's
canon. That is canon.
It's
They
canon.
were mad about the Beauty and the Beast
live action.
Implication that there's a homosexual couple.
Yeah, they're just mad about everything, but because the world
they're mad that Snow White is going to be more feminist. They're just mad.
Yeah, they're just mad about everything, right? Or the female leads that don't need saving. Even though those characters that's how they were written. Have you not picked up a book? You dummies. So also, we're in the middle of a culture war, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Yes, we're in the middle of, there's a political war going on. There's territorial wars going on, but this is a culture war because the culture wants to shift again, and because white men, they can't handle it because they think they're obsolete. And the thing is that no one is saying that you're obsolete. You need to come on and come along and learn some shit, and you'll be fine. Same thing with black men. I'm calling y'all out today because y'all out here doing dumbass shit too, voting for Trump, trying to be like your white you think
they are falling into the red pill manosphere online. That is appealing to them because anytime someone has any bit of power, they view the other of gaining power as a threat. They only see it as a loss to them.
Yep.
They do not see anyone coming up to where they are. They view it as, if they come up, I fall down.
I see it sometimes in my ex, who I'm really close to. Like, something good will happen for me, and he gets all funky about it. Like, I know for an exact that he has not listened to this. He has not once listened to the podcast. And I don't know why. Like, you're driving around all day. Like, just throw it, pick
what
an
else you have to do but hear my voice?
Right. But you'll call and talk to me on a freaking phone for 2 hours. Like, I don't want to listen to you shopping for freaking Costco. And then you go in the freezer and the phone drops the call. Like, listen to the podcast. Learn something. Like, I've been teaching you for years. Like, now you have a whole thing. You go listen. It's a whole archive of me talking. Like, I just don't understand why. I don't tend to hang out with men that don't want to learn. That's why I don't hang out with a whole bunch of dudes anymore, because the dudes that I used to hang out with wanted to learn. So, like, I also do not understand why, like, we cannot recognize that they're doing these things to see if they can get away with it. And it's going to start happening more. I've noticed that there's been a few times on the East Coast where these men just start gathering and walking around and doing Nazi things and having Nazi rallies. And then, like, no one is doing anything about it. Some people get punched. I've seen videos where people are getting punched and beat up. But, like, why is this happening? Because we're allowing it to. It needs to be stopped. And I'm not saying I want people to go to jail. I'm not saying, but if you know or you hear, I know some of y'all is on that dang, what's the name where they like to go and hide out on the internet?
The black web?
Yeah, the dark web, the black web, or whatever the name that.
Dark web.
Where Steve Bannon was with
the chans and
all that. They done opened it back. Yeah, 4chan.
They're in Discord servers.
Yeah,
they're around. I think a lot of times, particularly with young people, it doesn't start out as I hate a group and so I want to commit violence. It's how can I get attention? How can I do something controversial? How can I shock
they
someone?
want it for the
gram. Throw up a Nazi salute at Disneyland. You know, use the N-word in a chat while you're playing a game. Like, it's all about how can I push it? And then they get a positive reaction.
Yes.
Forget not even getting a negative, but they get positive reactions. And so then they escalate.
Yes.
What else can I say? What else can I do? How far can I push it?
Yep.
And we already know.
And then that leads you into full-blown marching down the street with tiki torches.
Right. And it's also, we already know, you know, from history that it's about disaffected youth and them finding somewhere where they fit in and belong to something.
Yes.
I mean, that goes all the way back, you know, in history. But I mean, you know, you can think of examples in the movies, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and, you know, finding the clan, the Foot Clan to hang out with, and things like that. Yeah. But like finding your people, and sometimes those are the wrong people, and that happens with street gangs. That happens with street gangs, and it happens with neo-Nazi groups. And, you know, you find disaffected youth, and then you have people in control of those groups that really control the agenda, and they prey and they seek those people out and then use them. You don't have
no family? Oh. And that movie I'm talking about is a perfect example of how he got like...
And those things happen when we as a society are not providing outlets. And when we say like disinfected, you know, there are no jobs. They are getting rid of, I could go on a whole tangent, but like, I don't like to use self-checkout at a grocery store because I feel like you should be hiring teenagers to be cashiers.
Yep.
Why are we getting rid of jobs that go to teenagers so that they can start learning
how to go to work ethic, right?
We get rid of jobs, we automate it, we make self-checkout, and then so the kids don't have jobs. So what are they going to do? They're going to hang out. Well, what am I hanging out for? How do you get a group of kids to hang out? You have to speak to them and give them something to look to. And if you can, particularly with young men, if you can present something in a way that makes them believe they'll have a little bit of power when they feel powerless, you end up with a gang, Nazis,
the
whatever.
whole thing. Yep.
That's how you get that.
Okay, so
For sure.
we got to get to the big cheese because there was a big cheese this week. But so what can we do? There needs to be a zero tolerance policy for this. Like, you can't have no symbols, no flashing them, making gestures like this thing. I mean, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
That thing with the zero and the fingers.
The zero with the three fingers.
Right. No harassing guests. And then these things when it happens with politicians and regular people, like, we need to act like it's just like no big deal, kind of. Like, don't give it news coverage. Like, we can't help with other, like, what they do overseas, but like here in America, we don't really have to pay it any attention because that's how it spreads.
Well, it has to be given the right attention. And
Well,
we can't ignore. When
no, I'm
someone
not
who has
saying
the ear of the
ignore it.
president,
But I think like right now, all I see in my head a lot of times is Steve Bannon doing it, Elon Musk doing it, and then who was the other person that did it? It was another person that did it. I don't even remember their name. But like, I just constantly have this thing going over in my head is that like people who are leaders are seen as leaders in our government are out here just Nazi saluting all over the place like it's 1936. Like, it's disgusting to me. I can't.
Do not understand how you can have the same generation that will flock to the theaters and make Captain America $1 billion.
And they're okay with
Silently
this.
sit around while someone who has the ear of the president is throwing up a Nazi salute. Like, literally the entire movie was about him defeating the Nazis.
Like, so the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to move on to the big story today. Like, if people feel absolutely comfortable that people can pull this at Disney World, Disneyland. Now, it hasn't, I don't think it's happened at World. I didn't find any information. It was just all at land. If it could happen at Disneyland, one of the happiest places on earth, like, what about everywhere else? I mean, one small story, and then we gonna get to the big cheese. A friend of ours lives in a city called Waukesha, and there is a young person that works there, and at the couple times ago when she went to the grocery shop, he had a brand new, fresh Nazi tattoo. And this is in Wisconsin. At a suburb that's probably 20 minutes from here, Travis?
Yes.
And he had a brand new, fresh, on his forearm,
Yes.
Yeah.
Nazi tattoo.
You should be made uncomfortable.
Well,
You should
I'm going
not
to follow up and see if Liz called and talked to the manager. But if she
You
did
should
it,
be made uncomfortable.
I'm going to call and talk to the manager.
Yeah, you should be made
because
uncomfortable.
no one should be, I mean, here's the thing. Put it on your body. You can do what you want with your body, but that should not be showing at work. And then you have him working there where there's a whole lot of Hispanic people and a whole lot of Jewish people and a whole lot of everybody. I don't want to see that.
It reminds me of the video went around a few years ago of, I think it was a contractor or a plumber. He pulled up to this house to do work with a huge Confederate flag on the back of his truck. But the house he showed up to do work on was owned by a black couple. And the husband was standing outside when he pulled up, and the wife saw the truck and immediately came out and told him he could go. Like, you're dismissed. You don't have the job. You're not going to be okay. And he started hemming and hawing and stuttering and was like, oh, is it because of the flag? It doesn't mean anything. It's just part of my heritage. And she's like, no, you can go. Like, you have the right to have your flag and wave it on the back of your truck. But if you're going to run a business that services people, you're not going to be employed by me.
Right. Like,
Yeah, that's consequences.
consequences.
That's consequences.
You can what? Fuck around and find out.
That's consequences.
Find out. Okay,
Hold
so
on. Just 1 second to that. Do you want to take a break before you get into this, or
sure, we can take a small
we've been going for an hour so far.
Okay, yeah,
so
we can take a break.
you want to take a break?
Sure.
All right.
Thanks. We'll be
All right,
back.
let's take a break. Listen to one of our theme songs while you wait, and we'll be right back.
We're back.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Podcast.
Hey y'all, we're back from the break and somebody's complaining about Batman. So we gotta hurry it up.
It's over. It's over. Don't worry about it.
It's not like we can't go back and watch it later. It's probably streaming somewhere, Travis.
I like appointment viewing, so I'm old school. So when something is on and it's it's on Me
Travis
TV,
is stuck in the 80s when we didn't have streaming, and I love him for it because he will play random episodes for ER for me on tapes, and I love it. I get to see the commercials and everything, but we have work to do.
I'm here.
I know.
You don't have to talk me into it. I'm here.
Let's go.
Devet, what is our main topic? Because we've been going for an hour already, and we're covering all the mess of the week.
Well, the mess of the messes happened yesterday. Travis and I were on the phone.
We were on the phone when this happened.
And he's like, "Oh my God, there's breaking news!" And I was like, "What blew up?" And then I ran to my bedroom, and there was the shouting match heard around the world. Okay, so there was mess in the Oval. Now, I didn't think we were watching that episode of Scandal. I didn't see Olivia Pope in there. But what I did see was a over cheeseburgered fat man sitting next to a very wonderfully stellar war general who is trying to save his country, that turned into what I can only call an episode of The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah? We all agree?
That's exactly what it was.
Okay, so here's
the thing. Front row.
I'm used to them meeting. You get to see them. They go in. I'm going to shake Travis's hand. You see them going into the meeting, right? And the cameras and, "Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me." Then they go behind the doors, right? We don't get to see that part.
No.
Right? No. Everybody, we don't get to see that part. There's, there's professionalism. And here's the thing. I don't like those words, professionalism and decorum, but here, in these things, stuff like this, that's what would happen, right? There is a way that you carry yourself.
The deal is supposed to be made behind the closed doors.
Behind the closed doors.
It's supposed to be in the room where it happens.
In the room where it happens. There's a whole song in it on Hamilton.
We're not supposed to know what happens. They're supposed to come out, sit down, and say, "We made a deal," and then shake their hands while they sign the deal and put
right,
the
we get
on.
to see the
That's what's supposed to happen.
And we don't know if people were cross or stern or swore or anything. We don't know about that, right? And it doesn't matter if they did.
Nope.
They made the deal, right? And okay? And there's respect, right? Because here's the thing. I don't have to like you. I don't have to love you. But we have to have what's called mutual respect when we're dealing with diplomacy. That's just how it has to be, okay? So, instead what we got was the episode of the year for The Apprentice Presidential Edition.
Apprentice season finale.
Right. All she wrote, that's it. And Travis I didn't even need to watch it. I just need to listen to Travis. Travis is like, did he just scoot up in his chair? Did he start yelling? And I was just like, I can't believe what is happening. I literally was speechless during this. So what happening? So what is going on? And what we really want to help you understand is, one, what led up to this moment. Why did the conversation spin out of control? And what does this mean for the future of Ukraine, Russia, and our foreign policy? Because we are all wrapped up into this together, because last I checked, Ukraine was supposed to be our ally, right? Last I checked. Okay. Because this isn't about the orange Cheeto being the orange Cheeto, right? This isn't about him. There is so much more to this. And just go back to the first story when we were talking about all these people just wrapped up in together in the bed, in the big ass bed, you know, when you have a lot of pets and everybody's just in the bed together. So how did we get here, Ava?
So from what I understand, this meeting was supposed to be about a deal for mineral rights.
But, okay,
Ukraine
wait.
has
I want to go
resources-
back further than that. So, how did we get here? That's like
originally, how did we get here where the war in Ukraine started? Is that what you're going to?
Yes,
or aggressions even between
Yeah.
Ukraine and Russia,
So
where
I'm
they
thinking back
originated
2022.
from? Yeah, and even further than that,
Yeah.
because there's Russia and Putin have for a long time and have wanted the area that is Ukraine for a long time for strategic reasons, for mineral reasons, for, you know, precious mineral reasons, for a lot of different reasons. They have wanted the area of Ukraine, and this has been going back for a while. And there's been conflicts and, you know, agreements signed and then broken, and Putin has repeatedly, over the course of many, many years and incidents, shown that he has broken every treaty, every ceasefire. When it meets his needs to do so, he will sign an agreement, and when it meets his needs to do the opposite, he will break an agreement. When it's convenient for him and he thinks he's gonna get the most out of it. So, I mean, this goes back a ways. I mean, they've even argued about the original date of that yesterday, when Zelensky said it was 2014 when this originally happened, and JD Vance broke in and said it was 2015, and he said no, I know,
because I was there.
Right.
So the other thing too, like, we have to realize that the Ukraine is in the middle of a war. Like,
Yes.
they've lost thousands of soldiers, millions of civilians, children, their economy. People are displaced. Like, everything is wrecked there. It's a war zone, like a actual literal.
A war they didn't ask for.
And they didn't ask for it, right? And we have literally been supporting them this whole time, sending weapons, sending resources, money, people, like humanitarian aid.
Yes.
And the thing is that Triple D, he is not a fan of Ukraine.
America first.
Right.
No.
America first. So, in 2019, Trump tried to pressure President Zelensky into launching an investigation into Peepaw.
Biden.
Well, Biden. People know I call him Peepaw.
I know.
By this time.
Just
New listeners, I call Biden Peepaw because he is a lot of people's Peepaw.
President Grandpa.
President Grandpa.
And that's what led to
that got him
impeachment.
impeachment. Yeah, that was
The first
impeachment
one.
number 1. Okay. Then he has constantly
quid pro quo.
praised Putin. Just praise Putin. Oh, Big Bang P. Oh, Big Bang P. And then since returning to office, he said he don't want to give him any more money. He has Ukraine. And then also, like, by the time all this happened, he really knew, Zelensky knew he had to secure this, right? And that's where the minerals deal came in. And now we get to the real reason why we're here. The Oval Office meltdown. Oh, yeah. So this meeting was supposed to be about him coming over here to secure the minerals deal.
In exchange for security assurances.
Right. So, like, electronics, tech, energy, and then U.S. companies would be able to mine resources. And then the Ukraine was hoping to lock up continuous support for the war, right?
Yes.
Try to get this.
I think that's very important to note, because Trump and his supporters like to frame U.S. support for Ukraine as if it's a one-sided We are gifting this to you. And the reality is Ukraine has valuable minerals that the U.S. needs
to make cell
for
phones.
all of our gewgaws and doodads.
Because we're locked
Your
down
phone
somewhere
wants
else.
to run, you need certain things. You want your electronics to work, you need certain minerals. And we also need them for military tech.
No more
so
Iron
Ukraine
Dome.
has stuff that we need in exchange for U.S. support. It's not just that U.S. is saying we will, we are so nice and we're giving these things to you. That's crap.
Right. So, instead of so Trump thought this would be a perfect thing to show the public how it works, the art of the deal.
The art of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, can I just say, that's what this all comes down to me.
Yes.
Him and J.D. Vance's indignation at the whole thing, why they were so upset, is because Trump and J.D. Vance are trying to, and Elon Musk, are trying to reform the government as more of a business.
Right. They want to run it like a business.
They want to run it as a business. And he walked into that office wearing what he wears.
Yeah, because he's a
wartime, and that's symbolism for him.
Right,
That's symbolism for him, and that's very important symbolism
that's
for him.
what he wears.
Could he put a suit on? Of course he could.
Right.
But it's important symbolism for him and his fight that he look like that.
Right, because he is a general.
Right.
He is a true general in the sense he is the leader of his country. He is the head of what? His military. And he is in wartime. Everywhere he goes, he is a symbol.
And he leads from the front.
Right, and he leads from the front. He has
Zelensky
shotguns and been with his people, watched them die, and these asshats are sitting in nasty suits with stains. And,
so when he walks in then to the Oval Office and he's not wearing a suit, they treated him. Yeah, they treated him. They were offended by that, and they treated him like they would treat any contestant on The Apprentice
who didn't
that walked into the boardroom at the end of the show without a suit on, and they belittled him and treated him like that because they knew that already, and it's almost like they set it up because it's a bargaining chip for them to have a better advantage in the deal, and this is all part of the deal, like you said. Mm-hmm. This is all part of the deal because they want to treat the American government more like a business and for it to be profitable rather than that trumps any humanitarian obligation that we have, because it's more important to treat it like a money-making venture.
So Ava,
because that's not Trump's thing, right? He does not have the ability to be empathetic or a humanitarian.
No.
So all he has is his, quote, business acumen.
Right.
He has to present this image of a hard-nosed, tough guy, businessman who's brilliant and is going to work out the deal, and that's why he tried to do this deal in front of the cameras. And Zelensky is the tough guy Trump likes to pretend he is.
Yep.
Right.
So let's talk about the accusations that, Trump tried to throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, just think about it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, catch them both outside. Who are you putting your money on?
Right. Oh, no.
Are you serious?
Those shoulders.
And I know they're heads of state and we don't need them to be fist fighting, but maybe we do instead of
MMA.
fighting these wars.
Let's go. MMA. Let's go right now.
We have precedent.
Let's go, MMA.
Right.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Not wanting peace with Russia,
yeah,
as if Ukraine started the war, dragging the U.S. into an unnecessary conflict, wasting American money. Now think about that. Imagine President Zelensky in that moment. Your country is being invaded. You're literally fighting for your survival. And the leader of your supposed ally is acting like all of this is your fault. Sounds like gaslighting. Do you all agree? Yeah. Like your lover has came home and you're like, where were you? And you're like, where were you? What were you doing? Somebody said you was out of blah, 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 blah. Like, what? No, dude, I was sitting here waiting for you to bring me this so we could.
And I think he could deal with the personal attacks. The personal attacks, I'm sure, enraged him. But I think he can deal with that because he doesn't have that kind of ego. Right. I think what he really couldn't deal with was the shit they were saying about Putin. And he had to set the record straight on that.
Right. So then he told Trump in no certain terms that Ukraine isn't just fighting for itself, but for global security. That letting Russia win would set a dangerous precedent for dictators around the world. Yes. And just as that happened, guess who popped in? Boy Wonder.
Old Blue Eyes.
Old Blue Eyes with his short pants. His pants never too long.
With the trigger words.
With the trigger words. So we're gonna get to the trigger words in a minute because we spent the afternoon combing through to try to find the trigger words because what I think Old Blue Eyes said made it worse.
Yes.
So then he jumped in siding with Trump, and then we know Vance has been pushing for the U.S. to pull back from Ukraine for a while, even as a senator. And in that moment, he backed old Tweedledee up, telling Zelensky that he needed to be realistic about ending the war. What? Realistic? Like, what is realistic about ending a war? Oh, we're just done. Yes, please come invade us. No, I don't. What do I say, Travis? That is not how any of this works. That man is
in their world, though. In their world, if we're thinking of the business model. And these are, especially Trump, people who have been involved in a hostile takeover.
We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover.
But like a hostile business takeover, and people who've done that, and that's how we know that he does business, right? And his friends do business. So he's just
strong-arming people to stop.
He's comparing what Putin's doing to the Ukraine as a business deal, and you've lost, and you need to give in. And if you want our help, you need to, give us part of your business.
A whole country. Right. He's just supposed to give it to Big Bang Pete.
Or whatever he wants, because he's figured they've lost. They've lost, and they have no cards. They're not holding the cards, right?
Yeah.
And they're thinking of it as a business deal. You don't have any leg to stand on, because there's no concern whatsoever from them about anything that has to do with humanitarian needs or concerns and independence and just...
Ava, Travis is not making sense.
You have to listen to how Trump started this interaction.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay.
He's like, he wants me to attack Putin. He says, I could be tougher than, you want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way. We're talking about a war that is costing people's lives, not a division of the market share and profit.
Right. Like, we're not talking about hotel shares.
Starts off, right? He says, he wants me to say bad things about Putin. I can't do that and then call him up and say, let's make a deal. And so that's when, old guy Liner jumps in and immediately starts with the trigger words, because he is the one that jumped in and accused President Zelensky of trying to litigate this situation in front of the American press. You know very well Trump is the one that wanted the press there. Trump is the one that wanted the cameras. President Zelensky was not the one requesting that we sit there and film season whatever of The Apprentice.
He just got a whole press junket together while he was flying on the plane over to the... You know what?
Who let the representative of Russian state media into the Oval Office?
Your best friend, Caroline Leavitt. Yep, she sure did.
So JD goes on to his little tirade of we're in this situation because we had Biden who was thumping his chest and acting like that matters, but President Trump's actions are what matters, and engaging in diplomacy. So that's the first trigger, because Trump is sitting here talking about how he could be tough. And so JD plants the seed that Trump is tougher than Biden. Biden is the reason this is happening. And President Zelensky does what I love, which is the power move. He leans forward in his seat.
Oh my God, he got up. I thought he was going to hit him.
He leans forward across Trump because now he's talking directly
to Boy Wonder.
To Guyliner, okay? He's talking directly to Guyliner. And he says to him, JD, not Mr. Vice President.
Nope.
JD, because I'm a president of my country. You are not, sir. I don't have to address you by a title. So, JD. And that's when President Zelensky says, what diplomacy? Right? He started occupying parts of Ukraine and Crimea in 2014. Mm-hmm. He's broken every treaty, every, bit of diplomacy that we've had. And that was back in 2014, Trump sitting there with his frog face, eyes closed.
I think he was
nodding his head because he doesn't really know what's going on. He says, 2015. He said, no, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And President Zelensky points it out. That was when President Obama was in office, when President Trump was in office the first time, when President Biden was in office, and now Trump again. And he says, hopefully Trump can stop him. But he made it clear, like, this is something that's been ongoing. Don't try to lay the
10
blame
years
on President Biden's. Right. Don't try to sit here and act like, this was a Biden failure. He says 2014, 2015, 2020, 2021. Like, this is ongoing.
Yeah, like,
and
they
then
don't...
JD pulls out the other trigger word.
Yep.
That's when JD says about him litigating this in front of the American press. He says, you have manpower problems. And then he says, you should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict. You are not bending the knee sufficiently to pay homage to our king.
Oh, Canada.
And Zelensky is not letting that. He crosses his arms. He sits back because, again, he is a war general.
Right. If I send you this.
And now he's going to let you know about yourself. He says, you haven't even been to Ukraine to know what you're talking about, bro.
Like.
Come to my block.
Come. How about you catch me outside?
How about you catch me outside? How about that? How about you come to my country and see what's going on, right. And then you'll know what you're talking about.
Because you don't know nah.
Right. And then when
Nuck if you buck, JD.
Exactly. And then when President Zelensky, he says to JD, because JD is like, I've seen video. He said, you haven't been here. He's like, well, I've seen video. And he says, but when people go, like, you take them on a propaganda campaign to show them.
Like a propo.
He's in the middle of a war. And so, yes, if people come to see Ukraine, he's going to take them to see the devastation of what war looks like for his people. And so JD accuses him of trying to use propaganda. And Zelensky says, everyone has... He says, you're trying to prevent, the destruction of your country. And he says, everybody during a war has problems. And he's like, but you have it nice here in the U.S. You have nice oceans. You don't feel it now, but you will.
Right, because it's just going to keep coming. Like, I don't know why people don't think
this is a world issue.
Big Bang P is not coming for everybody. Russia has always wanted to own everything. Like, I just feel like people just don't watch things. Like, they're stuck in their little bubbles where they're watching their hee-haw and their fucking...
We need movies. We need the action movies from the 80s. Remember in the 80s where all of the enemies were German? It was every
Russia.
movie.
Yeah, they were all Russian.
And Russia.
Right.
And, like, we don't have those anymore.
No, nobody's watching James
don't
Bond.
understand the threat.
No one's watching OG James Bond. They're not paying. They're not watching it.
President Zelensky said, like, you guys don't feel it, but you will.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Full scale temper tantrum. Don't you tell me how I'm gonna feel.
Like a toddler. Like a toddler. Like a toddler.
A toddler. It was like watching, like, your parents fight. It was like, I feel like you don't pay enough attention. Don't you tell me.
It was insanity.
That's what really set off Trump, too, is when he said that, because you can't tell him nothing about himself.
No, you can't just be like, hey, dude, you're not kosher.
Yeah, that's
Don't you
classic,
tell me what to say. Don't you tell me how to feel. Don't you...
That's a classic narcissist trait and a classic bully trait, is that they don't want to ever look at themselves like that or put themselves in other people's shoes.
Right, and then, like, Zelensky's trying to respond, and he can't because Trump is...
Well, they're capitalizing on the fact that English is his, second or third or fourth language,
right.
Whatever it is. But, they're taking advantage of that by shouting over him. And, his English is broken, and he's doing the best that they can.
Yep. And then, he's probably got a translator in his ear, translating as fast as he can.
Right.
Because this dude,
so it's like
this dude has a 6th grade vocabulary. Right. So, okay, by the time it ended, deal dead. Trump made it clear that the Ukraine shouldn't just accept a blank check. Now, here's the thing, my dude. Again, you do not own the purse. I don't know if somebody needs to write that on his forehead in a magic marker. Put it, you know how people put sticky notes to their mirror. You're beautiful. You're wonderful.
They're just gonna put people in front of Congress and, like, lock the doors and not let them in to do their jobs.
Right, and so why this matters, and we're just gonna pop through these real quick. So, like, this is another Trump conspiracy. I just think we should start a running list of all the things we could impeach him for. So then when they finally decide to do it, we have a list to help them out. So Ava, you're going to help us start the list today. We're going to put this at the top of the list. Arguing with state heads in the Oval. No, this is not presidential. Nope. Having secret rallies where people do Nazi salutes. Nope. Giving people jobs that they don't get go through confirmation hearings. Nope. 15,000 executive orders that alienate 97% of the population. That's a good list, right? I think that's start. I mean, that's not everything. But okay, so let's break down the consequences of this because what the effing hell. Okay, so Trump has been hitting for months that he's going to cut off the aid. I honestly think that this was just performative, so he had a reason to. He needed a public reason to cut it off instead of just saying it was all a setup. It was all for show. So now Ukraine is going to get pummeled to hell, and then we're going to have another country that doesn't exist anymore. What is this? Ethnic cleansing. Because just because these people are seemingly of the whiteness does not mean that they're white like poop, Big Bang P, and like Trumple DOD. Okay? If the U.S. pulls back, they're not going. Ukraine might struggle to defend itself. I would hope that the people who are in country there would at least help. So I'm gonna pray that maybe somebody comes to, I don't know, because this world is just ridiculous. Putin, Big Bang P, you just scored a big win. So yay you, I guess. And then who is the beneficiary of all this? You guessed it, Big Bang P.
Putin is the big winner of all of this.
He wins. Putin, we're going to send you...
Now we're back to the same thing, right?
Big Bang P?
So now Putin benefits. That leads us to his good old buddy, Elon, who's good old buddies with the dude in Romania, who's letting loose the Tates. Like, the Venn diagram is getting more and more like a circle.
Yep, a big old circle. So Russia wants the support to disappear, right?
Yeah, of course.
And this shouting match made it likely. So the U.S. allies are watching closely, right? So, like, Trump is willing to humiliate Ukraine, cancel deals, pull out support. What does this mean for everybody else? NATO, the EU, and other nations are wondering if America is about to step back from global leadership. So Trump has a history of doing this. So in 2018, Trump pushed for Russia to be readmitted to the G7, even after they invaded Crimea. 2019, he held up military aid, right? Mm-hmm. And that was why that whole impeachment thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then in 2023, he suggested that if Russia attacked a NATO country that wasn't paying
enough,
he'd let them do anything he wanted. So, he doesn't, this is not what he wants to, this is just, we should just accept that all of this was staged, so they would have a reason to deny the money, to deny helping them. And Russia's just going to go in there anyway.
It's a bargaining tool.
Right, and then let Trump have whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the thing that
go ahead.
This should come as no surprise to anyone.
Nope.
Trump wants to run the U.S. as a business, so let's look at how he has historically run his businesses.
Into the ground.
He has broken deals. He has failed to pay people. He has backed out on promises he's made. He has broken contracts. He has committed offenses that required the DOJ to investigate. So yeah, backing out of agreements with our allies is right on track with who Trump is.
Yeah.
Only now he's doing it with America's money. He's doing it with American lives. And then that affects everyone else globally. Instead of a bankrupted casino, we're going to have a full-scale invasion of an allied country.
And it's just going to keep happening. It's just going to keep happening. Okay, so what I want people to do is either, stay informed. We have to pay attention. We're not going to be able to do this for you forever, but we will do it. And then, this is history. This is something that you're going to see in the history book at some point. Because things like this that happen on television...
If they don't get rid of them.
Right,
If they don't get rid of them, they're trying to change the way things are listed in the National Archives.
Yep.
History is happening in front of our eyes and also being lost.
Which is why we do this. This is why we spend... We're at 10 o'clock at night.
Is going to be, the only record we're going to have is going to be our stories, our videos, our podcasts, our YouTubes, our TikToks.
Yep, because
they are purging it in front of
our eyes. That didn't happen. What do you mean? And then we're going to think we're crazy. But we know it happened.
Like the Usher and Alicia Keys Super Bowl. If you watched it live, you heard that voice crack.
Yes, you did. But if you listen to it now, that voice ain't cracked.
The NFL playback is smooth as butter. They are changing the history in front of our eyes, and then you're looking back going, did that happen?
Oh, no, I heard that voice crack. I did. Okay, so, you know what? I don't want to live in a world that Russia wins, so we have we always try to leave y'all with some positive things that you can do. So, I know y'all tired, but call your representatives. Call them and say that you demand email them, call them, write them. If you
Tag
close enough, show up on their doorstep. All your representatives have offices in your state, city. They're supposed to. Every one of them is supposed to have a regional office, like the senators have a regional office in the major
Shame
cities.
them.
Huh?
Shame them.
Yeah,
Show
publicly
up
shame them.
meeting.
Go to their, folks is having town halls and people getting dragged out of them.
And they did that. They did that with J.D. Vance already. He did today after this happened. He went skiing. He went skiing.
His family went skiing in Vermont.
Yeah, and protesters showed up.
Was like, the people of Vermont say,
absolutely not. Like, why are you here? Go do some work.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Somewhere else.
Go somewhere.
Make them uncomfortable.
Right. We got
Nazis not welcome.
We got to start making these people and just ask them where they stand on USA to Ukraine and NATO commitments, and just tell them that you support Ukraine and you do not support Big Bang P in Russia. Like, just do. And we will put a link in the show thingy that has how to find your Congress members, because you should know. And there's also a script that we could probably put somewhere. I'll post it on my Substack. You can just find me on Substack at DevetB. Also, support Ukraine directly. UNICEF has a Ukraine relief fund. You also can support Doctors Without Borders. And then there's Ransom for Ukraine. The other thing you can do is call out misinformation. Check your social medias for misleading posts about Ukraine. The things that get you to click. Like, just make sure that they're saying the right.
And don't share it.
Yeah, please don't share it.
Stop sharing things before you do some research.
And I have been guilty of that in my past, because I'll just see it and click it and share it because I want to either go back and read it later instead of using the save thing.
Save it.
Yeah, but I'm better. Use Snopes. Was it Snopes? Fact check.
Yes.
Reuters. I always say use the AP. Start with the AP, right? Even though they got kicked out, that is wrong. They got kicked out. The AP and Reuters is going to be your best bet to go to. Only share trusted news sources. Fox is not a trusted news source. Please, also, if you want to know it's trusted and you want to know it's news, go to the FCC website and look them up. If you look up Fox's distinction, they are an entertainment channel. They do not have a news distinction. Also, follow independent journalists like Ukraine Medusa, the Moscow Times, BBC News, and
non-American news sources.
Just be careful of the UK fucking tabloids, but you can look at other stuff, tabloids. Right? Look at other stuff like
the boring news.
Yeah, the boring news.
You didn't want to watch when you were a kid.
Right. Just take 5 minutes of your day to do something. Like, yes, come to us. We try to but we can only do one of these, right now every so often, because there's so much, and we are also trying to, do other things to preserve for the public memory, because it's just a lot. And so we just want to make sure that other ways to be a part of the revolution. And part of it is staying informed. Because if you have this in your memory, you can tell other people, because oral storytelling and oral discussion and having interaction with people and joining together over common things. Like, Ava and I didn't even know each other 2 months ago. Not like this. I followed her on TikTok, right? And like, now she's one of my favorite people in the freaking world. And like, I call her sister. Like, I would get on a red eye and go beat a bitch up if I had to for her. And it's because of Squabble up. So because we are committed to keeping people informed and preserving things that we both love, and we have a general need to do something, because both of us cannot be outside with y'all punching Nazis. Like, our bodies can't take that anymore. Like, we need y'all to go outside and punch the Nazis. Like, we're in an age where we need to sit back, but we can help you learn how to punch Nazis and look at them, and we can help y'all discern the crazy stuff that's going on in the White House, or what ICE is doing, or tell y'all about the IRS. Like, we feel like that as the aunties and Travis the uncle, that's our job now. So
it is our job, and I would encourage everybody to take ownership. To take ownership of your government, and to take ownership.
It's ours.
That what happened yesterday made me angry, because that's my Oval Office. That's my Oval Office. That's my White House. That's my Resolute desk. That this is my government. This is my capital, and it offends It offends me to see my president, whether I like it or not, my president of my country that I love, treating people like that. It embarrasses me, because I take ownership of that. You know, and it's one thing to have somebody in the White House that I disagree with, but I know their intentions are good. And we can argue, but I know their intentions are good. I don't know that his intentions are good.
Nope.
And I don't believe that they are. And I don't think that he talks about respect, but also I don't feel like he treats that office with respect. That it's also my office. It is not his office. I mean, it is his office. He's an American citizen. That is his office, but it is equally my office.
And we
it
have
is
the
equally
right
my
to
office.
critique
And
what's
I don't want to
going
see
on.
somebody acting like that in my Oval Office, and it makes me really angry.
Yep.
The Oval, the Senate, the Congress, we pay these people.
They belong to you people. They belong to all of us.
We pay them.
We literally do.
You would not allow your nail tech to talk to you crazy when you're paying her money.
No.
So do not allow these people who you pay money to.
And I think people forget that, like, the states pay taxes to the federal government. So even if you don't actually pay, like, I don't have to pay federal taxes anymore because of my income and where my income comes from, right? And so, but I still, I buy things in my state, so I pay state tax. I can pay sales tax. Like, our states have to pay taxes to the federal government too. And
exactly.
So you're still
taxes.
They
do not work for us. They work for us.
Yeah,
we do not
work for them, right?
They work
and
for us.
And they think we work for them. But what we're working for is big business and for capitalism. We have to understand that everyone right now that is in the government is a neoliberal. And it doesn't mean that they're liberal. That word means something different. And we will at one point do a show on neoliberalism, and so we can show you. But it's a tricky slope, right? Because there are people in there that are working towards a more socialistic government, right? Wisconsin was built on socialism. That's why we have roads. That's why we have
Milwaukee in particular.
That's why we have a tech school. Milwaukee Area Technical College is the reason why we don't have child labor anymore. We have parks. We have libraries. We have a sewage system. Like, these are the things that La Follette and his friends and comrades worked for. So we weren't a shithole city like Trump called us. Milwaukee used to be one of the greatest cities in the Midwest. And like, so we have to start holding these people accountable. And I don't understand why people don't know that they can do that. And so if we learned anything yesterday was we have to start fighting back. And that does not mean going fisticuffs with people. That means paying attention, showing up when you need to show up, and using your voice.
And not letting somebody walk over you. And taking Zelensky's
example. Zelensky's example was like, look here, little boy wonder.
He knows how dire his situation would be and how easy it would be for him to just concede every point because he needs that fucking money to save.
He
needs that money to save his country. But he will not sacrifice his ideals.
Nope, he's not. And he's humble enough to say,
because this is not a business.
Nope.
These are people's lives.
This is humanity.
He also knows in the sense of a business, that if he gives an inch,
Yes.
They'll take him.
You're damn right.
he will not only, and he knows
You're
that
damn
it
right.
won't just be him.
Yep.
President Zelensky laid it out. If Putin defeats Ukraine, it is very slippery slope for the rest of the world.
Yep, because he's coming.
And for all of the people back before November who were so, I absolutely can't vote for Kamala Harris because of the children of Palestine. There are children in Ukraine as well.
And Crimea.
There are children in the United States as well. There are children in Crimea as well.
There's children
there are
all
children
over
in Moldova.
Right, all
that
over
apparently
Africa.
is at risk. And there are children that are being dragged into sex trafficking
by all the
connected
people.
To the Tates, to Romania, to Putin, to Elon,
to Trump. And it's all connected. And on that note, we have to say goodbye to all our company, except for Drake and Vanilla Ice, your L7 weenies.
What's the lane? Always a lane.
You're a colonizer.
That's it.
That's all.
That's all we got to say.
Ava, thank you. Y'all might hear from us soon because me and Ava got a project coming out soon, y'all. So
something's coming down the pipe.
Something's coming, something good.
And that's called the Tease. So follow us all on social media wherever we can be found. And we're all over the place. We're on TikTok and Substack, and we're on Instagram and Facebook, and you can follow us on
Spotify, Blue Sky, and all the things.
All the things. We love you.
So thank you all for listening. Thank you for sticking with us, and we'll see you next time on Make It Make Sense.
Peace.
Bye.
Searching for the light shines through the shadows. With every step I take, I'm trying to find my way back home. Let's make it make sense now. Make it make sense. Podcast.